So here's a little patch of grass that is alongside the road. Over here is our neighbor's side, and this is our side. And you'll notice over there, significantly more dandelions. Over here there is dandelions, but they're quite a bit fewer, and the ones that are here are much larger. Can you guess why this difference is? Neither one of us have used any sort of weed killers, fertilizers, or anything of the sort. Really, the only difference that I've noticed is they mow their lawn fairly regularly. I don't mow the lawn quite as often. See that? When you damage the grass, the weeds are more able to grow. But that said, I am currently in the middle of mowing the lawn. Now that that's done, let's go work on my hydroponic system. So this here is where I wanted to do it, along the side of the garage here. I'll probably move those bones and stuff. But I've measured this out, and I need roughly 20 buckets for this length here, and then 30 for that length there, and I'll probably double them up, so I need 40 and 60, so that's 100 buckets in this area. Now if we come around back, you can see my compost pile, which I'll probably move so I can fit more buckets there. And then you can see the bunnies have mowed this part. See, I've been moving their cage around, and they've actually mowed this entire backyard. I think their permanent location for this little kennel thing is going to be right over there a little bit farther. I'm going to cut some of these trees. You can see I've already been cutting at them and I've been throwing the branches in with them. They don't seem to want to eat the tree branches though. Well, yeah, I guess that means the pond is going to go right around here where this old refrigerator's sitting. Let's go get some buckets and see what we can do. And I put a little spout on the side. I have a little dripper to put water in. Have it pumped into the pond in circulation.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So you don't use dirt?
No.
Just gravel, huh?
So there's the buckets, and there's where I've currently got them lined up. This might not be the final position. I ended up buying 200 buckets because they sold them to me for 50 cents a piece, so that's a fantastic deal. And I've got another 100 of them back at the ranch right now, which I'll be setting up in the greenhouse. So as you can see, I've kind of decided to not put buckets right here because this is a very shady area, and if I remember right, hardly anything grew in that area last year. In fact, I might even move these buckets and put another row down there, get a little bit more sunlight. I'm also going to trim this tree a little bit, get a little more light in that way. So I just put a little bit of water in the buckets, mostly to hold them down so they don't blow away, but also to dissolve that frosting, because they did have a bit of frosting in them. The frosting really shouldn't hurt things, but definitely if I get rid of it, it'd be less of a sticky job. Anyway, now I've got to think of what to put in them and how to hook them up. So I've kind of decided against gravel. First of all, because gravel is going to be kind of expensive, but mostly because it's extremely heavy. And what am I going to do with the gravel when I'm ready to take down the buckets? So I've decided I might do straw. Maybe straw with a little gravel on top of it to hold it down. But straw will act just like the gravel, but it'll be much lighter and more compostable. So I'm going to go find somebody that's selling straw and get a few bales. As for the bucket hookup, I'm going to have the tubing going across the top of them with the drippers and the pumping the water out of the pond. And then I'm going to have a pipe going down, probably very similar to this pipe here, going down through this trench. I could even have it buried so I can walk on it with a tube going from each bucket into the pipe. I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to attach the tube to the bucket though, because I can't have it leak, and it's very difficult to glue things to the bucket. On the smaller system I use things that screwed down and it clamped tight with a gasket, but each of those cost $1. And I kind of want to do this under $1 per bucket, so that's kind of out of the question. But I'm thinking maybe I could put a hole in there that's slightly smaller than the tube and squeeze a tube in, then add some silicone. But I'm going to do some testing over this next little while to see what's the best before I start punching holes in all of them. Anyway, come over here to the front of the house. I've actually planted some potatoes along here along the walkway. You see some of them have already started coming up. And these bushes here, I finally have permission to get rid of them, which is excellent because they are some ugly bushes. And yeah, So it'll leave a big scar in the grass, but that's fine because I'm going to till up this area and put some nice square beds of sugar beets or potatoes. I do like potatoes. So here's the aquaponic system inside the house. As you can see, the water is a little bit green, but the majority of this is the same water that was here last time I showed the update. I've only done a couple of minor feces removals. I haven't actually changed out the water. There's a little algae growing, but that's really not an issue just yet. But it is definitely a sign that there's lots of nutrients in the water. Come up here, you can see that the strawberries have multiplied. It's because I brought them in because we got a frost coming. Yeah, the spinach hasn't been doing particularly well. You see the spinach is, yeah, most of it's actually died out. But the lettuces, they're going just fine. You see, especially up here where they're getting a little bit of extra light in from the window. Oh, look at this. Let's actually pull some of these leaves out of there. There we go, first harvest. A little bitter, but not bad. Yeah, as people have predicted, the tubing has begun growing algae, but as long as it doesn't plug it, I'm alright with it. And finally, I want to show you guys this new computer that Canyon's dad and brother set up for me. If we come down here, you can see the actual computer, and it's one of those with a window in the side of it. Just put her nose right up to the glass, and you can see, I think that's the graphics card there. It's got 3 fans on it. This thing is crazy fast. You can see the box, the motherboard came in right here. So this laptop that I've been using for the last couple of weeks, this one took 44 minutes to render a 10-minute long video. My other laptop, which is currently getting fixed, would take about 10 minutes to render a 10-minute video. But this thing here, this thing does the same 10-minute video in just 3.5 minutes. And that really makes a difference. So thank you to Cedar and David for helping me set this up. And for everyone else, hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next time. This right here is why I haven't planted anything besides potatoes yet. We got snow yesterday, and what was this? 18th of May? But that's expected for this area.